Hi there, Phil Simborg for the USBGF. Here's a position that came up in a match recently, playing to 7 points. I'm red and I'm 2 away. I have 5 points. My opponent is white and is 5 away, and white doubles me. Should I take or should I drop? What would you do? Okay, well, I scooped it up, won the match, and only to hear my opponent tell me that I'm lucky. That I was lucky that as bad as I played, I won the match. And I said, well, I don't know how bad I played. I took a few pictures. I'll put them in. But I respect you. What did I do so bad? And he pointed out this cube, which I had taken a picture of because I wanted to be sure. So you're down 10 pips. You're way up in the match. Why the heck are you taking this cube? I said, do you know what your take point is, or my take point is at this score? He says, no, but it's got to be pretty high. I said, absolutely not. At 2 away, 5 away, my take point goes the other way. For some odd reason, it's low. That odd reason is that if I give you 1 point or 2 point, isn't going to matter too much as far as how much you win the match. So I'm supposed to take very low. My take point's around 17%, I think 17.23. Let's find out. Let's ask Extreme Gammon. My take point 17.28%. So I can take pretty low positions, and I've got well over 17% here, in my opinion. He said, well, how do you know that? And I said, well, I use the Keith count. He says, well, how does that work? I said, well, first you insult me and tell me I'm lucky, and then you tell me I play bad, and now you're asking me for lessons. And, of course, I was a little perturbed about the guy's attitude, but I was happy to show him up a little bit and just put the position to Extreme Gammon. And it's a big take. I have about 23.5%. I had estimated that I had around 24%. How did I know this? I used the Keith count. With the Keith count, I can do an estimate of the winning percentage. I'm not going to give you a whole lesson in the Keith count here, but very simply, if you use the race formula, you can check Keith count. Keith count tells you that the difference between the two after adjustments and after adding for cube vig and so on is 3, which tells me that the player it has about 24%. The taker has about 24%. Knowing that my take point is 17%, it turns out that it's questionable whether he should double or not. He probably was right to double me if he's that much a worse player than me that he doesn't even have any clue as to what his take point is or what his opponent's take point is when he doubles. I'm not going to criticize somebody for that unless they're going to be critical to me. But again, I think the worst thing you can do after you beat someone or lose to someone is tell them that they were lucky or how bad they played. In fact, I'd rather have somebody tell me I played bad and show me why than tell me I got lucky. That really burns me. My usual response is, yeah, I had a lucky draw. That's what I tell them when they say I got lucky. But the Keith count adjusts for the fact that he's got extra checkers and wastage on the ace point. I've got a little bit of wastage on the 2 point, but not as bad as he has. The open 2 point doesn't cost him anything. I also have a little bit of an edge in that he might do some wasting right away if he rolls a 6-1 or 5-1, 4-1. All the ones where he can't clear this point immediately gives me a little bit more edge too. But knowing the take points and learning these things, lots of people are going to drop when they're losing by 10 pips and they're winning the match 2 away, 5 away because they don't know the take point table. How do I know it so well? I made up the table for myself. Here's my 2 away take point table. I made a chart of all the take points at 2 away just so I can study it specifically, and this 2 away, 5 away sticks out like a sore thumb. By the way, so does 2 away, 3 away. The same position at 2 away, 3 away would be a drop. You got to have 26% to take at that point. Only 17 to take a 2 away, 5 away, and you can see what the other take points are. We'll ignore Gammon values right now because that doesn't matter, and we'll ignore the Kleinman because that's another methodology we can use to determine our winning chances. But let's take a look, for example, if the same game was at 2 away, 3 away. At 2 away, 3 away, it would be a double and a drop. At 2 away, 4 away, double take. 2 away, 5 away, we already know. It's right on the edge of whether you can double or not in a big take. 2 away, 6 away. This has got to be double in a take. Yeah, big double, big take. So knowing these things and studying these things and being able to estimate them over the board is what makes you lucky or unlucky. Hope this was interesting for you. Thanks. Bye.